Hello, GotAUkulele again with a soprano instrument review for you. It's another return to the brand Ohana, and this is their Ohana SK-35, the standard SK-35. The story behind this one was I was on the hunt for a cheap but not dreadful ukulele, a soprano that came with friction tuners. And then my problems began because so many of them, from the brands like Carla, Snail, Baton Rouge, use geared pegs. I hate geared pegs on a soprano. Yeah, I could swap them out, but then I'd leave drill holes. And there are surprisingly few that come, unless you're at the high end, with friction pegs. And by that I mean friction pegs that aren't absolutely dreadful. So it really came down to, I think, this and a mainland. And this one took the biscuit because it cost me £150, so I thought that was a pretty decent price. There we are, the SK-35, it's a soprano. They also make a SK-35G, which has got a gloss finish. This is satin. And a SK-35S, which has geared pegs if that's what you want. I didn't. I wanted friction pegs. So it's traditionally very Martin-esque. That's what it's designed on. It's a solid mahogany body, standard scale, standard shape, and it differs from its little brother, the SK-25, by the inclusion of this edge binding, which is rosewood on the top and the back, but also black, white, black strips around the top. It's really rather classy looking, isn't it? I really quite like it. The finish is not bad. There are one or two little finish flaws in it here and there, particularly on the binding. There's a little patch there on the back that you can, I can't even show you there. You know, little things like that, but it is cheap. But other than that, I think it looks great. The satin finishes can look a bit artificial on Ohanas, I think. If you're looking at a higher end instrument, you get something that looks like wood. That's a minor gripe. Rosewood slotted bridge there, that's a bone saddle. It's straight and uncompensated, but no real complaints. The sound hole rosette is pretty classy. Bit messy inside Ohana, bit of glue seeping out of the joints, but there we are. That is a single piece top and a single piece back by the look of it, and the sides are also a single piece, there's no joint. The neck is mahogany. I don't like that the mahogany is a completely different shade to the body. There's a joint in the heel and a joint at the headstock, but there we are. Topped with rosewood fingerboard in decent condition. We've got a generous 15 nickel silver frets with 12 to the body. The edges are bound with more rosewood. Again, some finish issues in that, but it means no sharp fret edges. And we've got pearloid position markers at 5, 7 and 10. And thankfully they're repeated on the side. I believe that Ohana never used to have them on the side, but they do now. The classy Ohana looking headstock, I really like that. Rosewood faced with binding, and the logo is pearloid. It's still a transfer, but it's pearloid under the satin. And the friction pegs that I wanted. They're not the best in the world. These are just standard Gotos, but they are not the worst by any stretch. They're kind of a mid-range peg. I'll come on to that in a minute. Setup wise, a little bit high at the saddle, easy to adjust. The nut is okay. Really light, not as light as a higher end one, but still pretty light, nicely balanced at the 12th. And it's strung with Aquila strings, and as I say, about £150 for that, so it's not a bad deal. I can't really get past the Aquila strings. I want a soprano to be bright and punchy and snappy. I think the Aquilas don't let it do what it can do. But still, let's just have a play. I really rather like it. It's just a bit too warm for me. And I'd like to try some fluorocarbons on it. Really nice little soprano mahogany sound. I would change the strings, but there we are. It's not really a fingerpick instrument, well, you know. good sustain to it as well. Yeah, nice. It's really good. It's got a good score. It's not the best soprano I've ever played, but it is £150. I don't like the strings. I don't like some of the finish issues, but generally speaking, it's pretty sound. This will suit 99% of people. Classy looking traditional soprano with friction pegs, exactly what I wanted. This gets a recommendation. Ohana SK-35, another good one from that brand. Back soon with more. See ya.